Everyone.
All right, it says it's live on my end.
Oh yeah, no, we're live. We're live.
Okay.
I'm just gonna give it a few minutes, probably 2 or 3 minutes to let people get in, then we'll get going.
All right.
Hey, everyone, how's it going? How's everyone's night?
Hello. Northern Wisconsin. Damn, I guess you got some snow too. JT, that 15 inches.
There.
Was that 15 inches you got today?
Yeah, 15 inches from 10 p.m. last night to today. It's still going. So we've about 15 inches in Minnesota, Minneapolis area. Maybe 20 by tomorrow. I sent you the picture of me
Yeah.
dusting the car off. I think I put it on after hour as well, but it was just a ridiculous amount of snow. I mean, I think it took me 20 minutes to get the car out, and there was cars stuck everywhere, little mini accidents. Not enough salt on the road, but I mean it's Minnesota, so we do what we got to do. But it was 60 last week, so it was a little disappointing to see the snow again for sure.
No doubt, man. It's almost springtime.
It can't come soon enough, honestly. I like the snow, but I'm about done with it. I
I hear you.
I am ready. So, how's your week been so far?
Man, it's been a great week. A lot of great news out of Ondas, you know?
Oh
I
man,
mean,
yeah.
the stock's doing what the stock does here the last 6 months or so, but you know, it's just steadily building. Steadily building.
I think we had high impact news 4 of the 5 days.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
what
something
do
like
we
that.
had? We had Mistral. That was probably the biggest one because that's adding about 100 million to the backlog. So that's absolutely massive. I'm gonna put that as my highest ranked one. Probably my favorite acquisition to date. Bird was big. That adds the anti-missile capabilities to Honest platforms. I believe there's like 40. It's used on 40 different aircraft and things right now within like NATO and a couple other allies.
Right.
And then what else did we have last week? Those are the two main ones that are just off the top of my head.
Palantir. You mentioned Bird, but yeah, the Palantir, they're the triumvirate there. Bird Systems, Palantir, and
Worldview is Worldview. Yeah,
yeah,
with the
that's right.
balloons,
Worldview. That's it.
the
Worldview,
ISR stuff.
Palantir, Ondas. And what was really cool was that Palantir made that announcement.
And yeah, usually it's people having to pay Palantir to get their stuff on there as like a marketing thing. 'Cause Palantir right now is just it's a big deal in the marketing space for any company. You see Palantir associated with something, the stock's probably going to move. I know Ondas, I believe, took on like their Foundry AI system, and that moved the stock way back when it was like $3 or something. So just seeing that partnership again is definitely a boon. Hopefully we can get out of this channel we've been in. We're in that $10 to $12 range. It's kind of bound there, I think, until the short interest comes down, and we need more retail eyes on it. I mean, to possibly get a short squeeze. I don't think it's going to happen just because of the absolutely massive float, but little things like this will help. Just getting more retail eyes on it. So that institutional ownership, they kind of hold all the cards, and they're probably going to get those warrants whenever they want, but they're in no rush. So
Yeah, it's
I'd
not
love to
just
see
the
what's
float either. I think it's also that volume. I mean, Ondas has been living on the most actives list, not just in the sector, but the entire market's most actives list. Um, for 6 months now at least. I mean, you can probably count on our hands how many days they haven't been on that top 10.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much every day. But I
Yeah.
think the funny thing, and I know we talked about this on the phone earlier, is you go to that list now, and maybe there's like Adobe, you got Nvidia, you got Tesla, you got Microsoft, you got a couple other companies that everyone's heard of. But you ask, your parents or your friends what Ondas is, and none of them know. None of them
Right.
know. So it's
Right.
like, okay, so no retail traders know what this company is, yet they're that active. I mean, because of how much institutional money is flowing in there.
Mhm.
And what we were talking about, if retail did understand what it was and it started trading more, I mean, that thing could go to like 200 million in volume a day if we actually got some retail pickup. We know it's shilled on X a little bit. A lot of people hype it up because it's popular, and they want clicks. But um, I just don't think that the majority of retail investors know about it, and a lot of financial advisors actually don't either. I know a lot of people that I used to work with in the financial space had no idea what it was. I know you were saying that some financial guys you were talking to had no idea what it was either. Yet it's sitting there on the most active list on every single trading platform.
Yeah, my broker is Schwab, and I don't know. It hasn't happened lately, but throughout last summer, right on through the end of last year, every time I called for whatever reason, I would just say, "Hey, I got another question for you. Have you ever heard of Ondas?" And the answer was always no. Um, that's starting to change now. About half the time when I talk to them now, and I probably call them twice a week at least, for one reason or another. They're really great. I tell you, that's all I recommend. I've had some experience now with Robinhood. I know a lot of people like Robinhood, and SoFi. SoFi's trading platform is like it almost like it's copied from Robinhood, but it sucks. And at least it's been my experience. But 24/7, 365, you can call up Schwab and you get somebody on the phone that'll go above and beyond, help you do research, help you point you in the right direction, answer questions, get somebody from the trading desk in Chicago on the phone if you need, get somebody from the back office on the phone if you need. Um, so, but anyway, yeah, I call and I would ask that pretty regularly. Have you heard of Ondas? And the answer was
Hmm.
always no. That's starting to change now, though. I can guarantee you, everybody at my local Schwab office knows about Ondas now.
No, Schwab's great. I think Robinhood, is mainly used for it's like ease of access for like younger
Yeah.
investors, and their options chain is nice. But Schwab, I got my HSA and stuff through them. I love them. Their support's good. Same with Fidelity. Robinhood has been, I think, gaining traction, but I still think there's a lot to do there. I was actually kind of surprised they had all the prediction market stuff, even though I'm sure that's a massive revenue generator for them. But I think we got to stay, keep the fiduciary stuff here, and then the sports betting and prediction stuff over there. I feel like sometimes that stuff can get a little gray. But I'm glad more people are hearing about Ondas for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I wanted to talk about the zero hour stuff. So zero hour group, we launched that on X officially.
Yeah.
Our website's up, YouTube's up, TikTok's up, Instagram's up, and if you guys look up the zero hour group on any of those platforms, you'll see us. And side note, appreciate all you guys hitting the heart on the live stream. That helps us a lot. So if everyone who hasn't yet could go and heart that live stream, that's great for our engagement next to the chat. So we'd appreciate that. Just gonna
Very much.
some stuff. We do have a big announcement. So Benny, I don't know if do you want to do the announcement, or do you want me to flip the phone, or what do we want to do for that? 'Cause this is a big.
Well, yeah. Hey, so Eric Brock has been very generous with his time. And when we went down to West Palm Beach, I got to talk to him back in or meet him first in December. He's pretty cool guy. In addition to being a real expert, very polished speaker, that's for sure. But he really knows the subject matter. But he's very relatable too. As well as you met him in person down there as well. But Eric and his marketing team have really done us a solid here. Um, not only can you find Zero Hour Group on all these platforms you just mentioned, but you can also find us on the ondas.com/multimedia page, right there at their website.
There it is, right there.
Boom.
I
Yeah.
know that we're on the phone here, so
Yeah.
we're gonna get a better streaming setups. But yeah, this is the official Ondas page here, ondas.com, and right on the top of that multimedia page with podcasts and TVs, you got the Zero Hour Group, which
Yeah.
brings us to our interview. So just a huge milestone for us as new creators, and just a really really cool accolade that we have now to kind of show a little bit of legitimacy with what we're trying to do with Zero Hour. So I mean, this is
Thanks,
just.
Bossum. Yeah. Yeah. It sure is cool, Kirk. It sure is cool. No doubt about it. So y'all head over to the webpage. You can pick us up there. Find us our YouTube. It'd be really I'd be really appreciative if people would just would subscribe, like, ring that bell. That helps with the engagement. And doesn't cost you a dime. And that's the whole point on this. We don't really want to put this information about Ondas. It's both of ours highest conviction plays, I believe. I think I heard you say that on your video you put out today
Yep,
about
still my number one highest conviction right now.
yeah,
Yep.
and there's just like we were talking about earlier too. We're really early for retail. we beat Goldman Sachs and any number of the big boys, the smart money. We beat them to the punch big time. We're already in it. Feels great to be early. Um, I caution people though, this is an own don't trade. You can maybe have a position that you use for swing trading, or you play with some options back and forth. Uh, but this company, in my view, is going places, and it's well worth the investment as opposed to just trading it. Um, but yeah, we're really excited about this, and it's such a great company, such a good investment. Uh, there's no need to hide, uh, you know, the access that we can get behind a paywall. You know, it's right there on YouTube. That's where you can go see it. And like I said, it doesn't cost you a dime. Helps us out though, or will help us out once we can get to it, and we can bring some more content from Ondas and others as well in the space, the drone space and the drone adjacent space, emerging defense tech. The way things are changing, the whole paradigm is changing. There's a whole generation of companies that are coming up now that'll be, in my view, taking the place of the Lockheed Martins and the Raytheons of the world before it's over. So they'll either be taking the place, or they'll be absorbing them, or getting absorbed. But either way, it's good for investors, and it's good for early investors even more.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate all the, support that you guys can give us with liking and sharing the content. I mean, right now we're really doing this as more of a passion project. I mean, we don't have any sponsors paying for this. This is all coming out of our own pockets to try to bring you guys like the best alpha that we can, and bring you interviews that no one, has seen. So, maybe eventually this will generate us, revenue and whatnot. But right now it's just all for the love of the game. So, the more looks we get here, the more companies we can interview. If now that we're official on the Ondas website, we're hoping to leverage that for maybe light path on usual machines and performance drone works, and maybe even some big boys eventually, like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, things like that. So, any small support on these is extremely helpful for helping us and knowing people like this information. It's important, and hopefully will get us to go into more interviews in the future. So, this is
Yeah.
absolutely not the last one. This is hopefully the first, and we got some things in the pipeline and plans to go places to interview some more people. So more content to come on that, but this is a really cool milestone that we wanted to share of getting up on the website of our highest conviction play. So, and we do expect this company to do very well over the next 5 years. And once we get out of this current channel, I'm expecting the next leg up. So yeah, own not trade. I agree with that. There's probably something to be said about doing some ONDL or options trading between this 10 and 12 channel, but definitely something that you could, buy now, forget for the next 5 years, and come back and probably be pretty happy. So,
Hey, I,
push
I
on
tell
code
you,
down.
on that, I'm actually started here a couple of weeks ago, but around Wednesday or Thursday, I'm taking a chance on selling just a few covered calls on Ondas, um, putting the proceeds into Volatus.
And that's
Yeah,
ticker symbol takeoff, right?
that's right. TAKOF or FLT, depending on which exchange or where you are in the world. Um, but on the I think it's the Toronto Ventures Exchange, and then the Toronto Stock Exchange as well, something like that. I'm not really sure, but through Schwab, it's TAKOF, and they're a full service drone company. Um, in Ondas's ecosystem of companies. But that's just what I'm doing with some of the proceeds, or all of the proceeds actually, that I can pick up from selling a few covered calls on Ondas. Um, you know, especially when it has that little bump every week. It seems like it wants to push up toward 11 or 12 bucks. So when it makes that run, I try to sell a few calls, immediately go over and buy some more Volatus.
And that Lotus one is an exciting one because it's more of a micro cap right now, right? Where it's I think it's under $1, right, or around there.
Oh yeah.
But that one could be one of those multi baggers similar to Ondas, and that was like at 67 cents. You think that one could really gap up in the future, is what I'm kind of hearing.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's I think it got up to 64 cents Friday or Thursday. Finished around 60 cents for the week. Um and it's got 670 million shares, give or take. So it's just above the micro cap size. But yeah, I look for it. I'm expecting an Ondas like move out of it.
Well, those
Yep.
are always
So
exciting too, especially if they have options chains because that one to double has to go to what, $1.20, and for Ondas to double, it'd have to go to $20 from 10. So
right,
there's a
right,
real big difference in those moves. So those ones that are only a few cents are definitely extremely high risk. But if you get it right at the right time, I mean, those are some of the highest rewards. I mean, what we made about 2,300 to 2,600% on Ondas for those that bought it at 67 cents and sold at roughly 15. I mean, these are definitely some. Uh, Generational wealth opportunities if you can get them right. So there's always a lot of risk with any of the penny stocks and any stock in general. But if you get those ones right and you have enough shares, I mean that can kind of change your whole existence.
right. Yeah, Bossum, I don't think Volatus is on Robinhood. At least I saw that mentioned somewhere else. It's an over the counter stock from Canada. It's a Canadian company. They've got the same thing going on in Canada that they have here. One of our shorts for Ondas talked about the reindustrialization that's going on with bringing the supply chain back inside the United States for U.S. defense companies and the Department of War. Um, Same thing's going on in Canada. Same thing's going on over in Europe. And I hadn't mentioned this to you at all, but man, I'm kind of interested in some of these European defense companies,
Oh yeah.
even their legacy companies. Um, I think who is it that makes that Gripen jet? Saab, I think.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking European defense, I'm thinking some of the UK companies now with that, like the Skycutter drone that did very well at the drone dominance, as well as that aerospace company that Ondas picked up. I believe it's also UK based for the long range loitering munitions. So I think there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out of Europe as we're seeing a kind of remilitarization going on with not every country wanting to be reliant on the United States through NATO for defense. So I think there's going to be a lot of innovators in that space. I mean, especially out of like Ukraine as well. We're seeing all of these, little drone companies, drone fight group, things like that, that are having, actual battle tested pieces that are going to come into play. Um,
Absolutely.
I'm really
Yeah.
excited about the Bird acquisition. I know we talked about that at the start a little bit, but now that we have a couple more people coming in, the fact that they might actually be able to put those, anti-missile pieces of technology on maybe some of the bigger drones coming with that new acquisition from the UK-based company that had I believe the Raptor drone that actually carries Iron drones and Wasps and things like that. You might see
Mhm.
those fixed with some of those capabilities from Bird, as well as Robo Teams. Um, UGVs as well. So you saw the
Right.
UGVs were kitted out with iron drones, as well as Imperial Motion robots and a few other things. So I think that's also really exciting. And seeing how Ondas actually is integrating the tech stacks together is actually very impressive as well. I didn't think they'd be able to get all those things working together so fast, but it seems that whatever team is managing all the subsidiaries and putting the stuff together is doing really good, just with the engineering and
Right.
crossovers.
Right.
That is also very exciting.
Like Eric explained to us, and this leads into a whole nother area, and one of your picks with Ampex, Amperis Technologies.
Love it.
Um,
Yep.
but the limiting factor for all of these drones, whether they're unmanned aerial vehicles or unmanned ground vehicles or the water vehicles, it's that battery life. And the idea, and like Eric talked to us a little bit about taking some of this heavy lift capability to move these drones further, that extends their range. Um,
Mhm.
so whether it's aerial drones taking off, from the back of a mothership type drone, or it's a heavy lift drone hauling a ground vehicle a little further out than where it would originally start from, just sort of extends the range, thereby extending the capabilities of it. It's kind of macabre, because it is all about conflict and fighting, but it is fascinating. And just before I let it go, I was the reason that I came up, or that I got interested in Saab, is they make this Gripen jet, and this Gripen fighter is like um, it's built. It's built to where it can land on really short runways, like literally on a highway.
Hmm.
It's very electronic warfare geared. Um, it's built to be robust and it's built cheap compared to an F-35, and so you can build a lot of them. And anyway, I saw a news report yesterday. I don't know if it came across on LinkedIn or one of my YouTube channels, but it's been reported that you know in Ukraine, um, they got a few F-16s, mostly from European countries that sort of donated them there. But it's been reported that I just saw a credible report yesterday, I believe it was, might have been this morning, that F-16s are being flown in Ukraine alongside the Gripen fighters. All right, from that are built by Saab, and they're being flown by a rotating group of NATO pilots, including U.S. pilots. So there's just a lot going on in the changing nature of warfare,
Mhm.
and this drone threat and the counter drone capabilities that are necessary. But there's still a place for air support and that Gripen. It's right in there. It's sort of like a high tech version of the A-10, you know, very survival, high survival. It's built for survivability, um, quick maintenance, quick turnaround, and it's a lot cheaper than those F-35s that cost a whole lot. I think the F-35 is the most expensive weapon system in history, and
It's ridiculously expensive.
yeah,
Yeah, I think. I mean, the war economics are very important. Any kind of supply chain, any kind of conflict. I think you spend too much on things, it gets too fancy, it gets too crazy. It's just not. It's not going to go the distance based on what you pay. I think the opportunity cost is a little bit out of control, which is why I think we're seeing a lot of drones and stuff like that. As you can see with
bingo.
tanks, kind of making them a little bit more. I don't want to say useless. I mean, we'll still see a lot of tanks. We'll see anti-drone stuff for tanks, but it's definitely I would say evening the playing field a little bit.
Yeah,
Russia probably has a much larger budget for that type of thing. This kind of evens the playing field. That was shown as being a legit thing. So now we're seeing that in other war fighters like the United States Army with all of the added drone stuff through the gauntlet and those Ukrainian products coming over here.
man. How about that move that Unusual Machines been making? It's a
Yeah,
beast here these last couple of weeks.
yeah. Usual Machines and Amprius have been definitely carrying my portfolio over the last couple weeks. I believe AMPX, which is Amprius, is up over 120% year to date, and then Unusual Machines, I believe, is up 90%. I believe
Yeah.
with it being up 70% in the last month. Uh, I did actually tell the premium chat that I was fading at around $23 because it was definitely extremely overbought on the yearly relative strength index. And it did fall off about $3 after that. So I was pretty happy with that call out. Still high conviction, but it definitely needs to come down in price. Same with AMPX, consolidate a bit before moving up. So right now I am actually fading UMAC and AMPX in the short term. And I'm readjusting capital from those to Lightpath and Ondas as I believe they're undervalued and they're due for a move here post accumulation. And then I have a hold rating on Archer and Rich Tech Robotics. Is I
Mhm.
believe that I want to see some support on those and a solid leg up before throwing my money in there. But I do think Ondas and Lightpath specifically are set for big moves here soon. But Unusual Machine's going to be huge. MPX is going to be huge. I
Yeah.
think those could be $30 stocks. Uh, Batteries from AMPX are very impressive, and then just the amount of market that's going to be available to Unusual Machines here once all of the contract winners are announced, and then they have orders. Where are they going to get these parts? They're not going to get them from the old Chinese distributors because of the FCC bans. Maybe they'll get some parts, but the NDAA stuff is pretty strict on where you can get it. And we know that Unusual Machines is the prime for motor components and FPV headsets domestically. They have ties to the White House, so they could probably get some extra lobbying deals. But I really think that they have a great business model and great CEO. and I'm not, promoting them because I think, oh, they have a tie to the White House, so that's like a huge boon. I think that they actually have a really good business setup, and that's just a potential, afterthought and catalyst. So
Yeah,
just to be,
yeah,
and they're moving into batteries now too, batteries and on cameras. So we're going to see them just reproducing so much stuff. They're working on their facilities as well. They're working on getting an automated facility and factory, and they can pump. They'll be able to pump out it's like hundreds of thousands of motors soon. So I can expect them, and they're already working with a few of the companies that won the first leg of the drone gauntlet. So
right,
that's
right.
kind of, I think, why they've been moving so strongly.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is. And we know they've been doing it behind the scenes, and I'm very happy that Ondas is kind of a direct partner with them. So I think we're going to see some crossover, and hopefully there'll be some orders coming from Ondas for specific stuff as well in parts.
Hey, there's another stock. I don't know anything about it other than what couple of folks have mentioned. I'll give a shout out to New Fish Big Pond. I don't know if he came to see us tonight. I invited him. He brought this up with me a few days ago, but Satellogic, ticker symbol SATL. I'm going to
Let's
be
see it.
really looking into them a little bit further. Um, you know, what you just said is kind of true. I think in my book, anyway. It's helpful. I'm not sure it's determinative. Like unusual machines having a little um, contact with the White House or whatnot. Satellogic, I think Newfish told me was owned 27% of it was owned by Steve Mnuchin,
Oh,
former Treasury Secretary for in the first Trump term, and um, and Howard Lutnick, the current Commerce Secretary, together own 27%, according to Newfish. I haven't looked into them very much at all, but at $3, right under $3,
that's an insanely high just share ownership for just one group, though.
right.
I mean, I assume if they were that vested, they wouldn't dump. But if they were ever to dump some shares, oh my goodness, that thing would tear down. I
Well,
still have the trading view chart pulled up here. I'm looking at it, but yeah, $3. That's not bad. Just looking at the hitting highs at 4 in February, that could be a
yeah.
buying opportunity.
That's what I was thinking, just from looking at the chart the other day. Um, but I was going to point out that you're right to be just a little bit skeptical, or always skeptical. I mean, we're dealing with stocks here,
Yep.
Um, but what's that ticker symbol? PEW.
Oh, geez.
I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yep.
got some ties to some folks close to the White House, and
Ramagun.
it's been a stinker, So, um,
I've tried to play that 3, 4 times. I have
right?
never come out winning. I have lost money on that so many times, thinking, okay, I can catch the flip here, catch the flip there. It's
Yeah.
because I think it was like their cash position was like larger than their market cap or something. Like it's just
Bob
something
Buck brought that
ridiculous.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like at some point that thing has to go up, but it's super logical. Something my dad taught me actually was the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So
Yeah.
so you got to be careful any kind of like option plays or thing with an expiration date, and that one at some point is probably going to be good value just on the fundamentals alone. And I'd actually maybe consider a swing trade probably at the midterms. If you know anything about any kind of like firearm stocks, things like that, we know that typically if Republicans lose certain offices, you'll see positions like those
Oh yeah.
spike. Which is, I obviously don't want to get any kind of political stuff, but that's just a trend that we've seen is gun sales have spiked when we see changes in like regime there. So that one, could be there could be a buying opportunity for sure
Yeah.
for them. But I don't. I'm not going to play them again. I don't think it's burned me. I got my
I
niche. I
got
know what I
burned
like,
too.
and
I made
yeah.
some money on them and then got greedy and lost it all. Plus, so yeah, they were disappointing on that.
And it doesn't seem like they should be. I mean, their financials are decent, and the business model seems fine. But I'm sure next time, I'll try to short it, and then it's going to go up. So I'm just going to stick away. But I think
Yeah.
that could be a good, earnings play play for sure around those midterms, for Pew. I know
Right.
everyone after hours mainly lost money, minus like Josh or Tron. He shorted it at the start. That one was like 16 and definitely made some good money. So
Yeah,
cheers to him.
yeah, no doubt.
Alrighty, so futures look like they are green for tomorrow. I know with maybe no end in sight to what's going on in the Middle
Mine
East.
are.
I was kind of expecting futures to be open red, but it looks like those are decently green to start the day or start the night, I should say. But I don't have oil pulled up here, but I should check at the oil prices as well. With the strait kind of still being uh, uncertain in terms of shipping. I mean, we're going to see that go up, and I'd assume equities, would sink if the tankers keep sinking out there.
Yeah, man, that's I'm a little concerned, you know? I mean, that's a volatile region of the world. Um, there's I in my view, there's reasons that prior administrations haven't taken this course of action. Um, because it really it can get out of hand pretty quickly, and if that happens, a lot of people can get hurt. I mean, right now, I saw a thing right over here at Costco. Gas was over $4 a gallon um, on
At
Friday.
Costco,
Yeah,
wow,
at
that's what it's supposed to
Costco.
be cheap.
Yeah, at
Oh
Costco.
no,
It was 404 here in Charleston on Friday. Um, and listening, I tell you, Carly B. Me on After Hour, and she's got a Substack. She's called the Vix Queen on Substack.
yep.
She's a real expert with these commodities, with the VIX and oil, particularly among the commodities, the metals.
Let's
Um,
get her a link in the chat here for those that don't. 'Cause yeah, she puts out a lot of free content, and I actually look at her stuff for some macro information. So, if you guys don't know, definitely go, give her a follow or support her. I believe
yeah,
it's her dad for Vix Queen, right? I don't know if someone can put it in chat, but
on Substack, yeah, she's in
yep.
called the VIX Queen. Um, and I've been reading her stuff and also paying attention to other folks on YouTube talking about this. And once oil reaches a certain point, what happens is they call it demand destruction. You know, becomes too painful, and people start turning off the demand. Turning down the heaters, not driving on vacation, not taking airline flights, not buying into or opening the businesses that have to buy. So that demand destruction can cause sort of a um a negative reinforcing cycle that's bad. You know, and so we definitely don't want to see oil getting any higher than it is now, right at $100 a barrel. I mean, it's good for the guys out there in Texas and the shale producers because they need oil to be up around I think 50 or $60 a barrel just to break even or make a little profit. Um, they're really hurting if it gets down below that. But boy, they're making enough. Exxon, those guys, they're making enough money already. You know what I mean? They don't need, and we don't need, for sure, much more expensive oil. So I'm watching that really closely and trying to hedge it some, and maybe even preserve some cash, just in case things get really bad, just for a protection standpoint, and to hopefully be able to take advantage of anything that really gets hurt hard hurt bad in the short term.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, right now, with some of my plays, I'm being very, very conservative and kind of greedy on entries for any sort of leaps. I think, with the current macro environment, things could definitely go down. I think small caps could be some of the first hurt. Even though we do cover defense small caps, and those, should actually probably benefit from like wartime and things like that. You never know what could happen. So I definitely have some deep limits set for, potential buys on like Onda, Path, UMAC, and things like that. And then with my capital I have on the side in cash. So I have some in cash, but then a lot of the funds are being used for like futures trading. I think right now in this volatile market, just day trading and doing futures trading on like the Nasdaq because of how volatile it is. As long as you kind of know what you're doing and have a good strategy and risk management, it can be very profitable when the
And
market's
that's in and out stuff though, right? Scalping in and out.
yeah, it's more
Yep.
swing trading. I feel like just we were in this amazing bull market for the last 2 3 years, and things were pretty easy. I think everyone makes money in the bull market, and if you don't, then maybe investing is isn't for you. But
Right.
right now, when things are toppy, they're moving, things are moving up, down, up, down. You gotta update your strategy. So, I'm long on specific stuff like Onda, so I purchased it to hold it. I'm not really swing trading that. I'm letting that stuff cook. I'm trying to add limit leaps for deep value on stuff that might execute at some point, and then with the side capital, kind of just playing that money on a daily basis based on what the market's going to give me.
I mean,
Uh,
okay. I don't know. Your audio cut out just for a couple of seconds there.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It just went out for a couple of seconds.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I was just saying, with the market, I mean, the market will help you quick. So it's more you have to kind of just go and do what the market gives you instead of trying to, control the outcome. You'll never be able to control it. So you got to kind of follow the flow of it. So that goes with anything, investing, trading, futures, anything like that.
Hey, let's back up and just in case a few more people have popped in since we made the announcement, and show them that the Ondas website
Oh
where,
yeah.
Eric got us up on the Ondas. We're not on the homepage, but we're on the multimedia page at ondas.com.
Yeah, big announcement for 0 hour. So we're actually on the official Ondas website now, ondas.com. You'll find 0 hour right at the top of podcasts and TV. So
Right
we
next to
still have more
Benzinga
interviews.
and
What was that?
all right, so right next to Benzinga,
Oh yeah. Benzinga, you got Oppenheimer here somewhere. You got Drug Radio Show. You got, I mean,
Oppenheimer, yeah,
you got a bunch of stuff, and I feel grateful that we were able to be right put at the top here. So uh, very very
absolutely.
excited for future interviews and stuff with Ondas and their subsidiaries. I'd love to go and talk to American Robotics, um, Aerobotics, Robo Team. I think would be very interesting, and a couple of the other ones. So very, very, very happy with how far we've come in this venture in the last couple months because it really only has been a few months.
Yeah. Tell everybody in the chat they're welcome to go over to X and thank Eric on our behalf for getting us up on that web page. That's a big boost for us, and he's very approachable. I know he'd like to hear from us and hear from our followers and folks on After Hour, Hidden Gems, and 0 hour for sure.
Yeah, anyone that would like to go over to X and add Eric, and if you see him, say the 0 hour group sent you. So he's following all of our stuff, and he's been very very great. Issue with the audio.
Yeah, it just cut out again. I don't know. I don't know if it's cut out for
Hmm.
everybody else, but it did for me. Just for a few seconds there.
Weird.
Probably
Okay.
just a connection.
Yeah, I was just saying if you see Eric on X, say that the 0 hour group sent you over, and he's
Yeah.
following all of our stuff pretty closely, and he'll probably see this at some point. But anything like that helps, and he's really looking to benefit the investors on this. So this is his baby, this is his everything. Essentially, he brought this company from nothing. So and we want to help you guys, help us, help him. Do as much as we can for us on the retail side. So. Yeah, if you see them, tell them 0 hour
It's
group sent
all
you.
it's all mutually beneficial, mutually self-reinforcing. Hey, we even got Eric to get on TikTok now.
Yeah, he
so
said he's following
so
his 0 hour TikTok, right?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, Sonny, you're
TikTok
you're cutting
before
out a
zero.
bit.
Now I'm cutting out. Okay.
Yeah, could last like 5 seconds? Could you repeat that?
I was just saying we got Eric on TikTok. Um, he and I are about the same age, just a couple years apart, but so he and I are new TikTokers because of 0 hour. So anyway, it's fun.
Oh, there's a. Oh, we heard you. There's yeah, the video's pausing. I don't know. We must be having a little bit of internet, but yeah, no, that's awesome. So essentially, so Eric didn't have a TikTok before, you think, and then pretty much we made the 0 hour group, and then he made a TikTok because of that.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, zero. So yeah, I think I put after our post, we got a little bit of motion, as they say. I think that's what the Gen Z says. Is we got we got some pull now in the industry a little bit. That's cool
I
to see.
love it.
Yeah, that's cool to see. Um, so we also have a new video coming out soon. That should be coming out, I think, in the next 2 or 3 days, which is going to be the origin stuff. That's all we can say about it now. But that's more of your interview that no one's seen yet. So we have some more official 0 hour stuff coming out, and then a couple more interview segments and things in the future. So you guys are the first to know that. So get ready. That'll all be on X and YouTube. We're also working on getting some Spotify stuff going. Hopefully, we can get this podcast, an official 0 hour podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that soon as well, and then potentially get some 0 hour merch and stuff. You guys want to rep the brand, get noticed at the airport like we did with the Ondas hat.
Yeah, or you did. Yeah. That and the Ondas origin story, that's the name of the video or the interview, part of the interview that I did with Eric. That's really to help the new retail customers or investors. They're where Ondas came from, how long they've been around. And yeah, that's right, John. Podcast is coming up on Spotify and other platforms as well. So that's the whole idea. Y'all stay tuned.
Yeah, goal is to get we'll be saving these VODs and stuff from the Substack lives and then getting them up on Spotify. I'll still post them to Substack and Discord, but I want to get them on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so people can listen to them in the car, going to work. I think this is a great platform to do that. These are about an hour long, so it can be for your drives, and it's just what's kind of going on in the week, what stuff we're following, and just talking about updates, talking about our lives, whatever, and having guests.
Yeah.
We're going to have more guests on in the future. We'd love to have Carly on, talk macro, a couple of the people from After Hour, I'm sure. We could have, Michael from M Finance on. He has a couple tools that I definitely want to showcase that I think are pretty cool. And I mean, the sky's the limit. There's so many different people we could have on. Probably have some guys on from Ondas as well. And then we'll save the in-person interviews for the big stuff. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's
Hey, we might be breaking Discord here or Substack or what is this on? This live
Substack.
stream. It's on Substack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We're probably giving Substack a little hard time here. We're cutting out a little bit here and there. They
Yeah, it's just I mean, maybe it's the storm. Who knows? The internet might be going a little crazy
Yeah.
with the storm. Usually, we have the issues before, so I think it's just tech issue, but not a big deal. I know
Yeah.
we talked about the acquisition, 0 hour, I guess official. I guess I wouldn't call it partnership, but official stuff on this website. Uh, I think we kind of covered. Yeah, we covered Burn, we covered Mistral being huge for Ondas, and that probably adding another 100 million, bringing their total revenue to near 300 million for the year. We could still see 500, I think. I thought we'd maybe just go into questions if anyone has any questions, and then we'll finish that segment, and then we'll probably call it there. And let's should be the
Okay.
first episode to get on Spotify as well. So we're gonna work on getting that with one of the other guys in the 0 hour group who does some of our tech stuff. So we're still growing. This is gonna be a big thing. So you guys have
Yeah,
any questions?
one of
Put them
the
in the chat.
yeah, open up for questions for sure.
I will check out Podverse as well.
Is there
Timeline for the podcast. I mean, that could probably be up like middle of next week. I don't think it's going to take too long to get it set up, and then we already have VODs ready to go. Substack's kind of great in the fact that it'll generate clips and it'll send you the VODs, so we can get those turned around pretty quick. So expect like Spotify and Apple Podcasts pretty fast. It'll be just the 0 hour group. And I think this will turn this kind of more into the 0 hour group official podcast, and then I'll still be doing my stock analysis for Hidden Gem stuff on separate videos for my index and stuff. ONSS prediction price after earnings. ONSS, have we? Did you mean to
I
say
think it's
August?
probably a typo. It's probably a typo. It's just one letter off from Mondas.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Here's my stance with Ondas. Obviously, I think right now we're in an accumulation phase. I think we are going to gap up. Issue is that short interest. Unless we see some massive move from retail, which I don't think is extremely likely, I mean, the price is going to be pinned down unless there is some insane event or contract that happens that absolutely insinuates a short squeeze. If we don't see like a huge amount of volume, I think there was something on X that was stating we would need like 160 million in volume or something to cause a short squeeze, but we would need a crazy, crazy guidance update or something to be able to overtake that massive amount of short interest. You see a large gap up. I think we will start kind of trending up here. In my opinion, the bottom probably was in around 850, similar to when that last offering happened. But it's it's hard to predict any price. I mean, if we were able to predict things perfectly every time, we'd be Warren Buffett. But I think we once we see that short interest coming down, I think we will start to see a trend down. We'll see it go back up and probably test all time highs around like 1550, and then hopefully the private placement, around 1650 for those warrants when those are purchased.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I stay away from the predictions. Because I'm an investor here. If it pushes up over 12, I'll be selling a few calls. I don't want to damage my core holding and lose them. I learned a pretty bitter lesson last summer on losing quite a few shares. Um, but I remember what Neil Laird told me back in November. Remember it's going to be choppy, Benny. This price is gonna be choppy. And, you know, um, I think I saw someone say on X, or maybe it was on Reddit somewhere, that there were 0 shares available to borrow now,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
us. And, but, this hot part, but is in my view, it lets the people who wanna short it, smart money, that have the money to buy a bunch of shares and then turn around and start shorting shares and make money on both sides, or let money sit over here while they're trying to drive the price down and make money shorting it. But that high volume every day sort of works against a short squeeze happening. Um, I would get really excited about a short squeeze if we saw a drop off of volume and then a drop down in price along with it, and then all of a sudden we turned around and the volume 10-day average volume was down at 30 million shares instead of where it is now around 80 or 90. I think that might set the stage for a good short squeeze. But as long as this volume level is staying so high, seems to me those guys can short it with impunity, you know? So um, I want to avoid a prediction.
Yeah, I mean these things are hard to predict.
After especially after all this news. And the big thing I'm excited about with Mistral, not only are they in with the Department of, the federal government and their procurement apparatus, but they're also just already set up for selling into state government, state and local governments, and police forces, public, federal and the state side, um, that they can open up into. And now, rather than just sell for a commission, they're selling to increase the stock price that they got for merging. So that's a lot of incentive right there for Mistral to work on the federal side and the state side to increase the sales. So
Yeah, no, Mistral is very, very exciting. I mean, Centrix was my previous favorite acquisition, but the fact we got Mistral, just on like the marketing and then the lobbying and all the relationships that they have with the government. I mean, they've been a partner for over 2 decades, and them doing that recent $1 billion deal with the DoD on the UVision stuff. I mean, it's very exciting. And now Ondas, themselves has their own loitering munition stuff. So maybe we'll see some of that pop up. And I think this is going to be huge for Iron Drone marketing and things like that. And I really hope to see some airport deals soon domestically with like FAA and whatnot for Centrix Iron Drone stuff, because we know Germany likes it. I mean, Germany's got some really advanced stuff too, and they chose like Ondas through Securiton and a couple other things. So we
mhm.
saw Ondas at drone dominance meeting, with the FAA and Secretary of Transportation. So that was kind of the big thing that started all this. I feel like when we saw that, we're like, oh, this is the real deal. So I'd expect something eventually there. How did you come up with this name Zero Hour? It was how did we come up with that? It was right at the
So
start.
yeah, so we were talking about what the Ukrainians, they described the front line as a zero line, and but zero hour is sort of like the beginning of an operation. Um,
Oh, Benny, you cut out
time
again.
and Yeah, it's like, I was talking about the, zero line is what the Ukrainians, refer to as the front line, but it's really not just an individual line, it's like about a 20-kilometer stretch, that where the 2 sides have to stay away from each other, but from that point, we started talking about 0 and 0 hour is um, sort of synchronize your watches. 0 hour begins at 0100 or whatever. And that's kind of how it is when you go to buy a stock. You buy a stock, that's the 0 hour because that's where it starts. And you want it to go up from there. Sometimes it backs up and retraces, but you really want it to go forward or go up. And I think that's how we landed on it, is
And we try to get
zero
in
hour
at the
is the
0 hour
beginning of an
too.
operation.
Exactly. Before it really moves like big. I mean, we're always trying to find these undervalued ones and get into them before they make the big moves. I mean, that's the goal of
Right.
this type of investing.
Yeah.
Kind of small caps is high conviction plays where they're very undervalued. We see that through something, whether that be their leadership, the fundamentals, technicals, things like that, and then hop in and then ride the wave up before institutional money gets in. So we're trying to be there at the 0 hour. We're the first in, and we're going to ride the wave until that thing hits the price that we're willing to sell it at. And for Hondas, it's not yet. It's not yet. I also wanted to
No,
talk about the covered calls too. You were saying on Ondis. I've been impressed with how high the premium is on like way out of the money covered calls. Like the $30 covered calls back when it was 15 were like $3-4. So I do think
right.
this
Even
is just a
more.
thought,
Yeah.
but yeah, honest covered calls aren't a bad idea. I don't think when we're out of the money after it rises, after there's a surge and implied volatility is high and premiums are high. I think there's a good opportunity there to cover some of those shares. Just a thought that I had from earlier, but something goes in relation to one of the questions. Yeah,
But yeah, that's basically it. When you buy a stock, that's the start. That's where it begins. And anyway, thanks for the question, John. Nice, good question.
yeah, we're no one's exit liquidity. We're there first. We are there first.
Don't want to be, that's for sure.
It's never fun. That was me with Pew. Never again. I was Josh's exit liquidity there. Appreciate it, Kirk. Thank you. Let's see if we get one more question, and then I think we'll call it there, and we'll get working on getting these uploaded to a Spotify, and we'll work on getting a Spotify and Apple Podcasts linked to the website too.
Right on.
How do we feel about Surf Air Mobility? That's one of my plays. That has just been in a rough spot since I initiated coverage. I think I initiated sub one, and then it went up to in the threes. I was looking for an exit around 334, and then the thing absolutely dumped after a decent earnings report this last week. Um, Obviously, I'm not happy with the price action. I have a cost basis of $30,000, but
Wow.
look at it as a play that's gonna bounce, but I'm holding it longer than I had initially wanted to with the swing play. But I mean the analyst ratings are good. The revenue was decent. There was that revenue surprise. I think they're going in the right direction. They were cutting unprofitable business ventures. I still like it. It's just it's not playing out the way I originally envisioned, but I still think it's going to get there. So yeah, unfortunately, not everything can be a AMPX or UMAC, going 100% in a couple months. We don't always hit, but no one, I don't think anyone does. So it's still a play that I'm not cutting, though. I should make that clear. I'm still holding $30,000 cost basis on that. I've not sold for a loss yet, and I still do plan on selling it around $5. Think it could keep
Didn't
bleeding.
uh didn't Palantir buy into or invest in SRFM
Yeah, that's what caused their initial surge back up to
last
like
summer?
$7. I mean, right now they had a huge sell off this last week. They're down to like 150. They were holding like that $2 range for a while. I mean, it's oversold on the yearly. So, do I plan? I mean, I already added three different waves of allocations to the position, so I don't plan on adding more. But now that it's showing, oversold on the yearly, there is, I think, a potential swing play. You could probably go from like 150 to two. But right now, just with my risk tolerance, I'm fully invested in that, and I'm just going to be holding it until I reach my target of about 550 for an offload, and with leaving some runners probably. Yeah, still bullish long term. Just time horizon is definitely not as short as I would have liked. So yeah, still like the position. No problem, John. Appreciate you asking the question. Let's see. I don't think we see any more questions. I'll say for the people that joined late, just for like the gem vault stuff. I'm fading ANPX and UMAC right now, just because I think they're a little bit overbought, and I think they're going to pull back a bit to consolidate. I have a strong buy on light, or excuse me, a buy on Lightpath and Ondas right now. I like them at about $10, and then I have a hold on Archer and RR. I want to see some consolidation into a leg up. Before I heavily invest in those again. So I know I covered that in the stock analysis video, but I wanted to let you guys know. What time frame do you look at on chart for yearly? I'm just using TradingView and then just going to the yearly, so I can just show you that really quick. This is SFRM.
I think he's asking if you're looking for daily. Is that daily on there?
Oh, no, that's your I when I'm looking at an RSI trend, I like pretty much never use daily or weekly. Like it's month at the minimum, and then 6 month, 3 months, 6 month, 1 year for like a clear RSI trend. I always want to, when I look at something to see if it's oversold, I think, the longer the duration, the stronger uh the confluence.
But
So yeah, I'm always looking at
but
the
when you're looking at a but when you're looking at a yearly chart, is it 1 week candles or daily candles?
of the candles. Usually it's just daily candles, and it's like a yearly chart. Yeah.
I think that's what he might have been asking. What time frame on the yearly?
Oh,
Is it
gotcha.
week?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, typically I'm just looking at a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, or 1 year for like actual trend, and then that's what I care about for the bigger indicators. And then usually it just, I mean, defaults like a daily candle. But I'm mainly looking at candlesticks and things for like trading futures, not so much investing. Investing, I'm more looking for something that's like overbought, oversold, things like that, and then any kind of news.
Right.
No problem, Gecko. Appreciate it. Oh, Betty, you cut out. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the audio. No, it's cutting out.
Yeah, yeah. It might be some of that 15 inches of snow you got there.
Yeah, maybe it's me. I don't know. I mean, there's about no cars moving outside, so who knows what's going on with the power lines? Maybe the Wi-Fi is bad. I don't know. I'll have to get hardwired in. I'm working on getting a better like streaming setup so I can we'll have Ethernet for these streams and stuff like that. But I think that was every single question. So do you have anything else you want to cover, Betty?
What's that?
I said, do you have anything else you want to cover or bring up? If not, I think we'll call it there. And just so excited to see us on the official Honda site, man. That was truly a really cool accomplishment for 0 hour.
Oh yeah, man, I'm really really excited about that. If everybody will go over and thank Eric for that on behalf of retail, on behalf of us little investors, I'd appreciate it, and let him that it's worth his time and effort to have put us up there, and we don't plan to disappoint him. We plan to keep up good quality content at good quality leadership like he demonstrates. So I appreciate everybody tuning in and spreading the word. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, everyone. New video here, new unseen content coming in about 3 days for more zero interviews with Eric Brock, CEO of Honest Holdings. So watch out for those on Spotify, YouTube, X, under the Zero Hour Group. So thanks everyone for coming out, and if you could hit that stream like button, we'd really appreciate it. Any kind of stuff like that helps us, and lets us know you guys like this kind of content. And we'll just try to keep bringing you guys exclusive stuff that no one else is doing. And hopefully, eventually, this will pay for itself when we get to go on those trips. But until then, we're gonna keep doing what we can to bring you guys this stuff, just for the love of the game. So appreciate you guys. Yeah, we'll stay warm. Me too, John. If you're in
Well, hey,
Wisconsin.
it's not only that, but we got our own money in this game. We got our own money on the line. So, just trying to keep a good eye on that, and let everybody know what we find.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like about our platform too. Is I mean, we're investing in companies that we are investor. We're providing like alpha DD on companies we're actually invested in. I think that's really important. If there's people giving out DD that they're not invested in the company, that doesn't mean anything. You if you actually believe in the company and you're doing the research, you better be invested in it, or else it's like, okay, why would I buy that if the guy who's telling me about it's not in it? That's a red flag for me. So I'm happy that we're deeply invested in these companies. Even when it's something like SRFM that's not going the way I want right now, I'm still in it. So I'm in it with you guys. But appreciate all you
That's
guys.
right.
And Benny, you're staying warm in South Carolina. I'll freeze, but hopefully we're cleared up here soon.
Right on. Yeah, more content coming out every day.
All righty, guys. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna end the live stream here. Have a great night.
Right on. Enjoyed it.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.